Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Tank from 96.9 The Eagle, Jacksonville's classic hits. I am honored to welcome a true legend on the phone. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the Florida Theater April 18th, the one, the only Don Felder. How's it going, my friend?
It's going great, Tank. How are you guys doing in Florida back there?
You know, right now, the weather is beautiful and it's great. To be honest with you, it's before it gets hot.
Well, you know, I grew up in Gainesville, so I know Florida weather really well.
You grew up in Gainesville. That's seems to be a hotbed of musical talent. How long did you stay there? You stayed till you went to Gainesville High, am I right?
Yeah, graduated from Gainesville High in '65. While I was in Gainesville High, Tom Petty was a student there a couple of years behind me. Bernie Ledden came in my graduating class in '65. Stephen Stills went to high school there. We had a band together when we were 14. So a lot of talent came out of Little Gainesville there. And I think a lot of it came down to all the competition between the battles of the bands we had amongst each other. And somebody would learn some new guitar part by Hendrix or something, and everybody was like, oh, you got to show me how to do that. So between that and the Allman Brothers being over in Daytona Beach and Leonard Skinner out of Jacksonville, that was an awful lot of talent in the neighborhood.
So I did read on your Wikipedia that Dwayne Allman taught you slide guitar. First of all, is that true, or is that just Wikipedia nonsense?
No, that's true. We became friends, Bernie Ledden and I, and Dwayne and Greg Allman became friends by going during the summer. The only place you could play and make some money was over at the beach. You played the pier, or you played clubs over there, or you played teen dance clubs, or whatever it was. And so we became friends with the Allmans, and we would all get off at about 1 o'clock at night and wind up going over to a place and having breakfast at some deli at 1 o'clock in the morning and wind up going over to the Allman's house. And I remember I walked in and Dwayne was sitting on the floor playing slide guitar. I'd never seen anybody play slide guitar like he did. And I said, you got to show me how to do that. So he showed me how it was tuned. He showed me how to pull down a flat fifth and make a minor third on things and play a slide on the seventh, and just the basic pulls on a guitar when it's tuned in a certain slide tuning. And so I really never tried to emulate him because he was so much better than me as a slide guitar player. I just developed my own style, but he showed me the basics of how it's tuned and how to play. And fortunately, when I got called in to play on the first Eagles record, just as a side band, which was Good Day in Hell, they wanted a slide player. And so I played slide on it. And they called me the next day and asked me to join the band.
So on the strength of that slide guitar, you were invited to join the band. That's amazing.
Yep, that's right. I owe it all to Dwayne for showing me how to do it.
Even though there's competition, there's still like a friendly kind of, showing each other the ropes, teaching each other things that you learn.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Somebody would learn something and how to play, something from Hendrix, and if you knew how to play it, then you could show somebody else. I gave Petty some early guitar lessons along the way, also taught him some piano at his house, helped his band arrange a couple of things. And he had two guitar players in this band that just thrashed aimlessly. He was playing bass and singing, and they were just stepping all over him. So I tried to tell one guitar player, just don't play when Tom's singing. And then when he's not singing, you can take a solo, just don't play when he's singing, because he's stepping all over him. Yeah.
That's steel sharpening steel and everybody looking out for each other, but also there's a killer instinct there of where you want to be better than those guys. So do you hold anything just for yourself?
I have the proud, distinct honor of having lost 3 battles of the band, whatever band I was in, to the Allman Brothers. There was a battle of the band every year in Gainesville, and so we would have it in front of this music store, Lipham's Music, that helps supply all these bands with musical instruments. And I was, like I said, had the distinct honor of losing 3 different battles of the band. They were by far the best band, no matter what band they were in, what they were called. They just were amazing. I got an amazing band with me now. These guys, I'll just tell you some of the artists that these guys have played with, recorded with, toured with. They've just got a great pedigree. These are not your typical bar band players. These are just top-notch, creme de la creme musicians and singers. These guys have played with Carrie Underwood and Keith Urban, and Joan Jett, Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. One guy's played with Mariah Carey and Adam Lambert from Queen. Another guy has played with Sting, Chicago, Billy Joel, Peter Frampton, Bad Company. Just unbelievable the amount of talent these guys have. And when we breathe life and energy, fresh energy into these songs that I co-wrote and toured and recorded with the Eagles, not all of the songs that I co-wrote, but some of the songs I co-wrote, they come alive in a really a great quality way. And I wouldn't go on stage and play those classic Eagles songs if they were less than spectacular. So I felt like I got to put together the best band I can possibly put together when we go out and tour. And that's what you're going to hear at the Florida Theater, is the best possible band I can put together.
How do you bring all these guys together? Where do you find this group of amazing musicians?
Well, a lot of times it's recommendation from other really high-quality musicians. Once you get on that national touring circuit level and you're playing with those people, you meet people, different drummers, different bass players, different guitar players, keyboard players. And so I refer to those people that I know really well and say, hey, who do you know that could cut this job? Look, so one of the things is I had this guy Chad Cromwell who played with Neil Young and a bunch of sessions and all the records you can just about imagine. He came in and played drums on one of my last records. That when he was there, he was so good. I said, "What are you doing? I need to get you in my band to play live." He said, "Well, I'd love to, but I've got so much session work. I'm so busy, but I'll recommend a guy to you." So I hired this guy named Seth Roche, who had never met him, never heard him play, no nothing. And he walked in and played this first show and was absolutely spectacular. Not one missing beat on anything. He's played with Rascal Flatts and Sheryl Crow and Brad Paisley and Keith Urban. He was Keith Urban's touring drummer for 6 years. This guy just walks in and nails it. And I went, okay, you're my drummer for the rest of my life. You just got to do it.
That is high praise right there.
Everybody that's on my team, on all levels of it, where it's the front of house guy, the production company, the tour management, the musicians, I really try to find the absolute top quality people I can put on stage and have mixing the house as well. So it's light years above what most people expect.
I was looking at your discography and I've been spending some time with it. I fell in love with American rock and roll, and you were on with some of the greatest guitarists of our generation on this thing. So the fact that you would, put these guys on your stage in that same category, I mean, they must be incredible.
It is. They truly are. The project that I did, American Rock and Roll, before that, the first two solo records I had done, I played all the guitar parts on all the songs. I played the solos, the rhythm guitar parts, the reggae parts, the acoustic parts, the pedal steel parts, the mandolin parts, everything, the talk boxes. I just played everything. And this last record, American Rock and Roll, I said, what's missing? It's just sitting down with somebody who's an incredible player in the same room and making up this just great solos together and harmony and blah, blah, blah. So I got a lot of people to come in on American Rock and Roll. I had Slash came in and played on it. Joe Satriani played on it. Eric Gladstone from Rush played on it. Orianthi played on it. Just tons and tons of guitar players. Peter Frampton played on it. Just friends of mine that, I made a phone call and we went in the studio and recorded this. It was just so much fun to walk into a studio with somebody and know that when you get done and you walk out, it's going to be spectacular. It was just that quality of player and people in production that I was looking for. And so it worked really well.
Is there a certain level of freedom, calling your own shots, running your own show? Is that something that you think helps the show be better? Yeah,
I do. I think so. I don't like being the boss. The boss really has this special property about it that I don't like. I don't like. I'd rather be the musician and play and arrange and write and put together rehearsals and studio stuff and produce records than being the boss. But since I'm a solo act, I got to be the boss too. So it's different when you're actually the boss and the artist all of that.
Now, you are obviously in love with guitar. You have your own Les Paul and your own, looks like a modified SG double neck.
That's correct. Yeah. I got a phone call from Gibson a few years ago, and their custom shop wanted to put out Don Felder Hotel California guitar. And I said, well, which one do you want to do? Do you want the 59 Les Paul that I played in the studio and did all the recordings for just about every Eagles record that I played Les Paul on? Or do you want the white double neck that I had to figure out how to play Hotel California on to play both the 12-string parts and the solos and other parts? They said, well, let's do both of them. I went, okay, let's do both of them. So they did 150 white double necks that I signed, I think 100 of them or something, and they were numbered. And then they did 359 Les Pauls. So they've all been sold for years now. But kind of hard to find. If you find one, you're going to pay in the $30,000 to $40,000 for them. Which to me is crazy, you know. So
yeah, it's like buying an SUV to hang around your neck.
Exactly. Yeah. It weighs about as much as an SUV too.
So you're a collector as well of guitars, as what I read. Do you still have? First question: do you still have your first guitar? And do you remember what it was?
I don't have it. I wish I did. It was just a piece of junk that I traded a handful of cherry bombs to this kid across the street who had one in the top of his closet. It was missing string, had a crack in the front, but I didn't care. It was his guitar. And I, mowed lawns and did cash wash cars to get some money to go to the drugstore because there wasn't a music store, but the drugstore sold guitar strings. But I could only buy one at a time. So I would get enough money to go buy one of the missing strings. There was a guy a couple of blocks away that showed me how to put them on and tune it. And it showed me a song called Red River Valley, which was my first guitar song that I could play. After that, it was all pretty much self-taught, figuring out how to make this thing called a guitar and make it rock and roll.
How many guitars do you bring with you on tour?
I think I only have between 7 and 10, and it depends on what tour, because sometimes if we're out for 30 or 40 shows, I have to have backup workhorses, much like if somebody's playing polo, you have to have so many horses per chukka, and then you got to have backup horses in case one of them gets hurt or sick and not feeling well or whatnot, or just not playing well. So I have extra backup guitars when I go out on the road, just in case I need them.
Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite guitar?
My 59 Les Paul, without a doubt. It's been my love of my life. It's treated me so well. It's been on just about every record I've made. Never cheated on me. It's
not that easy to find, Don.
I know.
Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing you at Florida Theater April 18th with an incredible band, a lot of dancing, a lot of fun, a lot of singing along. You're there with Pablo Cruz and Firefall, two bands that I absolutely love as well. So it's just going to be an incredible night of great rock music.
It's an incredible band, and by the time we play the last 5 or 6 songs, which is like Take It Easy, Life in the Fast Lane, Heartache Tonight, Hotel, but everybody in the place is standing up, dancing, and having a great time. They've got their iPhones out, filming Hotel. It's just a wonderful, wonderful time. That band is just magical. You'll see. Come on out backstage and say hello, and let me thank you for taking the time to do this for me.
My pleasure, my friend. It's been an honor, and really look